idea for the awards came about 20 years ago when Tom Wixley, who was the partner in charge of our financial reporting group then, came up with the idea to somehow find a way of encouraging companies to excel in their reporting. He sat down with UCT and they came up with the idea of an awards program, and that started 20 years ago, and we've been running it since then. So this year we celebrate 20 years of excellence in reporting, and it's been an amazing journey for us. 20 years ago, remember, financial statements were quite simple documents. It was maybe 20 or 30 pages, mostly financial information. There were only 2 or 3 accounting standards, so really not very complicated. Maybe had a direct report in the beginning, and sometimes there were a few photos of the board. And in time, companies started adding a little bit more information, giving a little bit more about their operations, what had happened in the year. So we evolved to corporate reporting awards. And then over the last 10 years, companies have started adding some sustainability information and looking at those measures, but that was often in a separate report, and we had a separate awards program for that. And for the last 6 years, companies in South Africa have been reporting on an integrated basis with the integrated reports. So we've combined the financial statement sustainability, and we've combined that in one award, and it's been an amazing evolution to see the reporting over 20 years from those very primitive sets of financials to some really exciting reports today. So some of the trends we're seeing in this year's awards is that the companies that are taking integrated reporting seriously are really making a serious effort, and we're starting to see reports that are getting to the ideal integrated report. I think what they intended when they wrote the integrated reporting framework. They're a lot more connected. Some of the companies, and a lot more of the companies, are reporting to the 6 capitals and showing the connections and the trade-offs. There's also a lot more disclosure around inputs, outcomes, and the outputs. It was something, the outcomes was always not very well understood and not really well reported on. And we're seeing some really amazing infographics. Companies are explaining their business models much better. And infographics for areas that they maybe struggle to explain in words, they're showing in pictures now, and it really has the right effect. So I think overall it's been an amazing journey for companies. I think over the 20 years, the one thing, although reporting has changed so much, the purpose has always been the same. It really is to encourage the excellence in reporting, and I think that still remains to this day the purpose of why we're doing and why it's so important for us. But it's also really nice and I think quite rewarding to see the recognition of the finance teams. They often spend many hours and lots of days and long weekends working on these reports, and I don't think there's a huge amount of recognition for all the work they do. And it's really great that they're getting this peer recognition and recognition from a recognised accounting firm. So although companies have come a long way from those first integrated reports, I think there's still a lot that they can do to improve the quality. It'd be nice to see more companies reporting to the capitals, because I think that is a really sensible way of reporting and really explaining all the pieces. What we also would like to see is companies connecting the dots in the different sections of the reports better. So making sure that where your strategy, your risks, your opportunities, the external factors, all of those things are closely linked to your KPIs, what's happened in the year, and then all the way through to your direct remuneration. I think if we can see a clearer trend through those, that'll be really nice. I think the other thing that will also be really good for companies and to focus on is the governance reporting. The governance reporting is often bolted on the end. It's not really integrated, and it's not that clear, how it adds value. And I think a lot of the reports are still very backward-looking, very reporting on historical information, whereas it'd be nice to see a lot more focus on how is this company going to create value in the future. So the advice that I would give to first-time reporters, and this is a question I've asked almost every single company that I've sat with and over the last 4 or 5 years, what is that one magical ingredient, that's one tip that you would give companies? And I think I've had lots of answers, but I think for me what really stands out is that you need to have a board buy-in. I think once the board realizes that there's their document, it's their strategy, it's how they're going to add value in the future over the long term, it becomes really a powerful document. And there's so much out in the media. Companies, it's not a marketing document. There's so much out in the market. People know what's going on in your business, and once you realize it's your document, it's your narrative to own, it becomes a really powerful tool for you to use.